Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and today we are gonna do something that I have been longing to do for quite some time. In 2007, Disney released a movie called Ratatouille. You may have seen that little flick. It's one of my favorites, being that I love to cook, and then of course a rat, everybody can cook. It just was a fun one. So in the movie, Remy actually makes a dish called ratatouille for a critic. And I don't know if that's the first time I'd heard of the dish ratatouille or not. I can't be certain, but it's always intrigued me, the idea of this, and it's beautiful. Have you seen pictures of this thing? Wow. So I knew that in 2021, I wanted to adventure and try this beautiful French dish called ratatouille. So without further ado, let's go on this adventure together. Ready? All right, so this recipe is pretty much standard across the board. We are going to saute onions and garlic, and then we're gonna add a tomato base with some seasonings, and then we are going to layer it into a dish. So there are many recipes out there, but I tried to find the most standard one I could, so I could see if it was truly a recipe that I would want to keep for future and maybe make my own. So I'll leave a printable in the links in the description of this video, but this is not my recipe. However, I didn't find the one that I was using in a printable form, so I did put it in a printable form for you. Anytime that you see a recipe and you download it from my website, if I can put where I found it, the original recipe, it will be on the page. But just I thought I'd let you know that in advance. Okay, are we ready for this? So we have preheated our oven to 375. Next, we are going to cook half an onion that has been chopped, 3 cloves of minced garlic, and half of a cup of onion in our stock pot. Hold on. Let's get our onion chopped. I didn't do any of the prep beforehand because according to the recipes, this takes 5 minutes to throw together. Let's really see if it takes 5 minutes to throw together. With the magic of editing, I'm sure we will be able to easily throw it together in 5 minutes or less, but you know. All right, I'm just going to rough chop my onion real quick. I'll set my knife over there. And then I'm gonna use my little chopper from Pampered Chef and chop the rest of it. All right, so there's our chopped onion. First, we are going to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in this pan. And we're just gonna guess at what 2 tablespoons is. If it starts to stick later, I'll add more. This was a gift from my son for Christmas, so I thought I'd use it. All right, so now we will get our temperature going. I'm gonna go ahead and set this off to the side. We will add in our chopped onion. We'll give that a little stir. We'll let that get started while we work on the garlic. Now we're just gonna need 3 cloves of minced garlic. So I'm gonna use my Pampered Chef garlic press here, and I'm just gonna put it right into my pan. All right, let's give that a little mix. All right, and now we are gonna add half of a cup of shredded carrots. Now this is a part where different recipes said different things. Some things said red bell pepper, and then some said carrots. So I went with the carrots because you can always find carrots and you can't always find red bell pepper, at least not around here. So I just went with the carrots because it was the easiest thing to find. So we're just gonna saute these until they are soft and tender. All right, while that's sauteing, we are gonna go ahead and get our can of tomatoes opened up. The recipes that I read say to use 14 ounces of crushed tomatoes or 28 ounces if you want it to be saucier. Because we all know I like my sauce, we're going with 28. I'm also using fire roasted crushed tomatoes. I don't know if that's right or not, but I love the taste of fire roasted tomatoes because they just, I don't know, they feel like they're just happier. Oh no. All right, and once we think that is soft, it'll take about 4 or 5 minutes. We're gonna add in our tomatoes. Looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and add in our whole can of tomato. And this is crushed tomato, if I didn't say that already, and I'm sure I did. And then all of our seasonings. So I have thyme and parsley, and I have basil, pepper, and salt. And we are just gonna give that a good mix. Okay, now we're gonna bring this to a simmer and let it simmer about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, we are going to put on our cut glove. Those of you who have been around this channel for a while will know that I tend to cut myself a lot. So my husband got me this cut glove a couple years ago, and I have not cut myself since. So if you do not have a cut glove yet and you have a simple slicer or a mandolin, might I suggest that you do that. It will make your life a little easier, and it will keep you out of the emergency room. At least it has for me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to slice our tomatoes into thin slices. So let's decide how thick or thin. What does it say? 1/8 inch thickness. So we'll put that on number 2, and we'll check to see if that's 1/8. We'll do one more. Oh yeah, that's good. I think that's good. And we're gonna wanna do 3 or 4 of these Roma tomatoes. All right, let's move our tomatoes off to the side, and now we will do our zucchini. And it said 1 large zucchini, so in my garden, this is not a large zucchini, but I think this is a small or medium one. So I do have 3, and I figured whatever I didn't use in this recipe, I would use for maybe a frittata later. So I'm gonna just cut them to the same size as my tomatoes. All right, and once we have our mound of zucchini, which I'm almost certain now looking at this, that is gonna be way too much, but whatever. All right, next we are going to take our eggplant, and it said a small eggplant. This is not a small eggplant, so I know that I'm not gonna need all of it. So I'm just gonna hope that, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna hope actually. I don't know how much a small eggplant is. We'll just do our best here. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna slice it the same way we sliced the rest of it. Maybe, yep, there we go. And now, since we're done cutting, I will put all this away, and then we will get ready. We're just waiting on this, and it's almost done. So, yeah, okay. Okay, this is just supposed to be until it's thickened, and it looks pretty thick, so let's taste it and then adjust for salt. It could use a little bit more salt. Tomatoes in general need salt, so it's not really surprising. All right, that tastes fantastic. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this off. And here comes the assembly. Now I have a 2-quart baking dish here. Preferably you want to use a 2-quart baking dish that has a lid, but I do not have one for whatever reason. This doesn't have a lid yet. This is the Pampered Chef 2-quart baking dish. Oh well. I could just do it in here. No, I will go ahead and put it, I'll do it in here. This one does have a lid, but that's okay. Aesthetically, I would like it to be in a lower dish. Aesthetically. All right, so let's spread this. You're supposed to spread the sauce in the bottom of the dish. And now we will arrange our things around. Now, we're supposed to make it standing up in the sauce. Now, I assume, knowing that these two are vastly different, that I need to cut this in half, and then they can be halves all the way around. I think that's wise. I don't know if it's right, but I think it's wise. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a chunk of these right in half. And some of these are even bigger than that one that you saw. So maybe that will go in thirds. I don't know. Okay, so let's take a piece of eggplant. That seems awfully large. I think I am gonna cut it in fourths. Ooh, I don't know if this is right, but it's gonna have to be, because obviously, yeah. I mean, like, otherwise do you just look for an eggplant that is the same size as your zucchini? Like, how does that work? I don't know. Okay, so we are going to put it all together like that. Eggplant, squash, tomato. All right, enjoy this montage. And done. Now, assembling it took about 15 minutes, but it looks rather awesome, doesn't it? So let's go ahead and cover this with some foil. And we are gonna get it into the oven for 30 minutes, and then we're gonna uncover it and cook it for 15 more. So I guess I will see you back here when it's all done. I can't wait. All right, it is time for this ratatouille, to come out of the oven. So I've got my trusty oven gloves, and we are gonna take it out and see the results. Oh, wow. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous dish. Wow. That's pretty. Oh my goodness. Now, I have no idea how we're supposed to dish this out. So if I do something wrong, please give me some grace. Okay, let's dish it out. It's not very much to look at once it's out of the pan, but let's see how she tastes. You ready? Let's see. Nice and tender. Still a little bit of a bite to it though, so it may need some extra time in the oven. It did say that if you like softer vegetables, put it in for a little longer. If you like firmer, a little less. So mine was just right on the knob. We'll see. Mmm. Mmm. Hmm. That needs some salt. I feel like it's overly tomatoey right now, but that could be because I didn't have a lot of salt in it yet. I tried to undersalt it just a tad since I'd never eaten it before. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. All right, try number 2. It just needed a little salt. That's good. I think I would cook my vegetables a little longer, but it is good. It's very stewy, which is to be expected for all the tomatoes. I feel like it could use a little cheese, but what can't use a little cheese? But it's definitely good. Now, would I make it again? I think I would, but I think I'd make some adjustments to it. So first of all, I think I would throw a pinch or 2 of sugar. Sugar cuts the acidity in your tomatoes by about 1,000,000%. And I feel like the acid level of this dish is pretty high. So I feel like a little bit of sweetness, maybe even some honey or just some table sugar would really go a long way in this recipe. Of course, more salt would be in it. My vegetables are a little too al dente. I would want them to be cooked just a little longer, but overall, it's a good dish. It really is. I'm just being picky because I can. because it's my dish. But it's beautiful. That is certainly a crowd stopper, but seriously, I feel like putting a little mozzarella over it would make it just perfect. Or maybe a French cheese, whatever. But all in all, I think this was a good adventure. I have always wanted to try Ratatouille, and now I can say I have, and that I would definitely make it again. Maybe just add just a pinch of sugar. Because I'm American. I mean, like, we got sugar in everything. Alright, you guys, if you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. This year, we are going outside the box and adventuring in all of those things that we've been scared to do before. So, I hope you'll adventure with me, and if you have any ideas for me, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye!